Feature in a Short.
Welcome to Feature in a Short. Feature in a Short is a monthly screening hosted by Fourwind Films, where an appointed contributor presents their chosen feature, motion picture, and a short movie. There is only one condition for the screening selection. The presenter must have been directly involved with one picture, but not the other. My name is Justin Joseph Hall, owner of Fourwind Films, and let's get right to it. This episode, we are featuring Ace Allgood, who owned Channel Z for quite a long time in Minneapolis. This is our first event outside of Brooklyn, and we traveled all the way to Minneapolis, Minnesota, located on the edge of the Mississippi River. Fourwind knows Ace because Ace Allgood told me to move to New York back in the day. He is always kind and always ready to help young filmmakers with advice. So thank you, Ace, for everything you've given us. But he is a producer, first and foremost, and the short film that he brought today was Chromium Hook.
So I started in filmmaking as a youngster in college and wanted to do whatever I could to get into the business. And I thought I was going to be a television news photographer. And I got very, very lucky in that I got an opportunity to come to Minnesota and get a 3-month internship at a production company. The 3-month internship turned into a 30-year time in the lovely state of Minnesota. And I've had a wonderful, wonderful film career, and I just retired. Temporarily, I guess I'll say. I just sold my company in last January, and I owned it for 22 years. And fortunately, my partner Jim, who is far more talented than I am, is a very talented editor and had quite a following. And we were able to start an editorial company that did advertising and commercials. And we took the profits from our first year and made the Chromium Hook. This is the 20th anniversary of the Chromium Hook, so it's kind of exciting for me to, wipe the dust off and get it off the shelf. And had a fantastic time shooting in October of 1998. And it took us a year to get it finished, and we did prints and all that kind of stuff. And we played at about 50 film festivals. And that's the great thing about short films and short film festivals. It's an opportunity for us to really be creative. So with that being said, here's a short film that broke every rule of short films. I was told when you make short films, make a 10-minute, no dialogue film that'll play in every film festival known to man. I made a 40-minute, wall-to-wall dialogue. So pay attention.
With Chromium Hook, we had a classic Minnesota beer, which was Summit, and made donuts. Unbelievably, I have seen it when I took the tour of Channel Z about 10 years ago, but I didn't notice that there's a very famous actress in the film.
So we did not pay anyone a nickel who worked for working on the movie, as you guys are all familiar with. And I ended up with some pretty amazing talent.
How did that happen?
Okay, so, that's a great question. How did you get Amy Adams in your movie? Well, this town is an amazing actor town. Because of my friend Ali Salim, we were introduced to Lynn Blumenthal. And Lynn Blumenthal is a casting agent in town. And I think Lynn's experience brought out a lot of real quality talent. And when Amy came in and read, I say the phrase all the time, cream rises to the top. And oh my God, she just put a level of energy and something to it that just stood out. It was magical, and we were so fortunate. And again, I think that's a testament to the quality of the people in this town. And I think it also was a quality of Jim Stanger, my partner and director. He wanted the actor to bring what they wanted to bring to it. He was not trying to tell them exactly what to do and exactly, here's what I want, here's the idea, now how can we make this better together? You have to have the best people around you that you can get, because this is a lot of work to do this. I feel like our heart was so well into it. There's no camaraderie that you get when you're making a movie. When you have that intensity and that pressure and that oh shit, we've only got 20 more minutes to get this one time when the light's going down and the airplane just flew over. But then when it works and you're able to come up with a piece of magic like that. And that's an interesting point about this film. I bought only the festival rights for the music because that's all I could afford. And it was actually kind of ironic. Some of the guys were just like, don't even bother me. Just do the movie, don't even bother me.
Better you get permission.
It is better,
Now you can get permission.
And so I'm kind of somewhat limited in that. I don't ever want to sell this thing. I mean, I can't put it out. But at the same time, too, it's for free. I put it out there for free, and I've given away, 1,000 copies of the DVDs, and I'm not making any money on it. But, it is Amy Adams' second film.
The sound was really good, too.
Yes. Well, I think I'm glad that you mentioned that, and I want to talk to you audio guys about that. I'm a great benefactor of working in the commercial world, and in the commercial business, you get to become very good friends with audio guys. And the sound design was done by Tom Lesher, and everything in that audio track is deliberate. And remembering all the joy that we had putting all that stuff together, like all the radio broadcasts or something going on goofy, and the director edited the film. And honestly, the film was shot as 12, 20-minute interviews.
Did you guys record in analog to that audio?
Nagra.
Okay.
Nagra, claps and slaps and Smart Sync and all that stuff, yeah. And we shot on a RESR2, and yeah.
And was that your first time doing like a film transfer?
No. What's ironic is, and this will again date me to how old I am, is that when you shoot the project on film, we cut it digitally.
Yeah.
But we, on an Avid, but we ended up going back to the process and, like I said, doing AV rolls, opticals, all the work prints for the titling and all that stuff. That urban legend story was something that really, touched me, the urban legend that the movie is based on. And that's what really, when I read the short story, it really struck out home to me. But I wanted to make something that harkened back to those old movies of the 50s, 60s, 70s. We were definitely inspired by Spinal Tap and the mockumentary format, and that was a huge inspiration for us. And I tell you what, we spent a lot more money on it than I thought we were gonna. I think the processing and the printing process, and then the old poop moment when you realize that you got to do it one more time and it's $5,000. That's a hot, that hits you in the forehead a few times. Again, it was an education, and we set out to learn, and we learned. I think that the lesson was, it's be slow and steady, and it's not about winning tomorrow, and it really is about making the best work. And I made some really conscious decisions about my career that, in retrospect, I'm very happy I did. This is a wonderful community. This is a wonderful town. I feel very fortunate to have the career that I've had. Two things I like to talk with youth about. One is story. I don't care if you shoot it on VHS, Super 8, your iPhone. If it's a great story, it's gonna stand out and it's gonna win. The other thing is collaboration. You have got to find people that you work well with. And believe you me, you're not gonna work well with everybody, but you can't do it all yourself. I am so fortunate that I found a guy that is so much smarter than I am and has better vision than I do. But you know what? He's the shy guy in the corner. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. And look at me. I can't shut up, So I'm the guy. That's how we made such a wonderful partnership team, is that my strengths were his weaknesses and his strengths were my weaknesses, but we both had a passion for the common goal of making good films. This is a business, as everyone in this room knows, can be very discouraging. However, when it works and you finally remain standing and get it done, there is no high greater than getting your film done. When I'm able to share it in a room like this hear you guys giggle and laugh. That made every moment and every penny and every hour I spent on that thing so worth it.
The second film we watched was a classic 1976 film called Network.
I believe it won Best Screenplay in '76. I think it's just an interesting social commentary that speaks to us today about today's issues. And I think it's an amazing story. Someone, I believe, put this as like one of the best screenplays of all time, or a top 10 screenplay.
After the film, we freely discussed.
The genre is changing. The genre is turning into very short or very long series work. And I think it's nice for us to remember that 90, 100-minute format and how that's an interesting way to tell a story, and some of the corners you have to cut to tell a story in that 100 minutes. And if you look at movies over the last 50 or 75 years, we're watching the same movies over and over and over. We just have different wrappers put on them.
So thank you for listening to Feature in a Short. In the forecast to look forward to, we want you to pay attention because the film that Fourwind produced, A Boiler's Luck, will be broadcast on HBO Latino, and it'll be available for streaming anywhere that you stream HBO shows. So please check that out. And if you want to hear more about that or behind the scenes, we had the cinematographer on the podcast, Gary Jacquez. If you go back to episode 7, he paired it with Children of Men. So if you want to grab those two movies and go check it out, please do so. So with that, any questions on how to get on our email list or to follow us, or even if you guys just want to make films with us, please contact us at Fourwind Films. That's at FOURWIND FILMS. Thank you.